Hi everyone. A few of you have asked me to do this video, and I sat with this for a little while. Did a video last week on choosing love over fear and the opportunity that this pandemic gives us to make a different choice. And I do personally feel that there's a collective lesson that's happening now, or a collective experience that's happening now, as well as personal experience, personal lesson, personal journeys that are happening. And so in a video, I can't necessarily address each person's individual experience or lesson or story as we move through this time. But I can take a look at kind of a universal experience. And that's what some of you have asked me to do. Why are we going through this right now? Why is this happening? So in this video, I'm going to pull a few cards for us on this. Not affirmational, as I've done in the past, but more about why this is happening and how we can stay connected to what allows us to feel grounded and also understood and cared for and connected with however we look at that spiritually, whether that's, God, Great Spirit, higher self, etc. And so for this, I'm going to be using the Linestrider Tarot, and I'm also going to be using the Wooden Oracle and the Rider-Waite-Smith Tarot as well. I'm not really sure why, but that's here too, so we're going to see what comes up. So we're just asking with this draw for insight into why, as a collective group of people, because this is planet-wide at this point, what is it that we're learning through this experience? Okay. It's going to be no surprise to you all to see the Tower coming from the Linestrider Tarot. The Page of Wands and the Six of Wands are also present, though. And for clarification, we have the Healing card from the Wooden Oracle and the Four of Wands from the Rider-Waite-Smith Tarot. I think it's very clear from this that we can see that this experience is the Tower, and it's something that is pulling us down to the foundation, to the root, to the core of ourselves as individuals, as we discussed, but also to the core of humanity. What is it that matters to us? What makes us tick? What are we here to do? What are we exploring in this life? And so it's certainly a Tower moment, and it may continue to be a Tower moment for some time. But the Six of Wands is very encouraging for us. I mean, we have so much fire energy here with the Page of Wands, the Six of Wands, the Four of Wands, and then you could even say that the Tower brings some fire energy with it as well, with Ma Kali present there to bring that energy crashing down so that we can't hide anymore as easily behind a disguise or a front, but instead we have to look within and see what our truths are and how do we act in alignment with that. And to go back to what we have discussed last week, are we going to choose an experience based on fear in which we have to fight, or do we choose an experience based on love where we can be vulnerable and embrace each other in a new way? So, Six of Wands lets us know that there is a rebuilding that we're going to be able to do. There is victory here for us. That victory lies in our healing and in our connection with each other. And at a time when we may not physically be able to touch each other or be with our loved ones, we can still energetically connect and share an experience of love and trust and vulnerability with each other. The way that we move into this energy of victory with the Six of Wands and the Four of Wands is the Page of Wands. It's through realizing that we can practice beginner mind of not knowing everything, and of listening to the messages that we hear, whether that's messages from who we might consider guides or aspects of higher self, or messages from other people as we connect online in new ways, or are kind of forced to connect more authentically online than perhaps we have in the past. Keeping beginner mind and going into the cracks in that foundation of this tower that's just crumpled, and looking at that infrastructure, what's in that foundation that deserves to be fortified, and what is it that it's time to let go of, and choose a different way to look at something, choose a different way to move through the world, and choose a different way to show up for each other at a planetary level. Through this, we also see the earth reclaiming some of herself, and that Page of Wands energy allows us to get curious about how we can better step into union with that energy, with the energy of Mother Earth herself, in her voice, and hearing what it is that she has to say to us. When we look at this life as finite, this human life each of us is occupying, because we're all going to leave these bodies, we can allow a sense of playfulness to come up in how we can change, that we don't have to hold on to something so hard, so harshly, that there isn't room for something to shift, to blossom, and for a new perspective to be experienced. So even though the seriousness is present in this spread for us with the tower, we do see that the way forward is in healing, which means that this really is a time for us to go within, to have beginner's mind, to explore things in a way that maybe we've never allowed ourselves to give ourselves the gift of quiet, of silence, and looking within, and also exploring connection with the people around us, real connection. Not just moving through hurried days together, but real connection with the people around us, which leads us into the victory of the Six of Wands, which allows us to build a tower together, based off of a strong, solid foundation. So there's a real opportunity for connection and healing and growth that we can experience through this very real tower moment. Now, energies that you can connect with based on this spread: the energy of Ma Kali, of Kali Ma, the energy of Kuan Yin with the healing card showing up from the Wooden Oracle, the energy of Bastet, of Sekhmet. Those energies can help us to reform our sense of self and come to a new exploration of what it is that we believe, who we are, and what matters to us, and what we wish to continue giving our energy to in co-creation. So, I'm not going to go on for too long, because this is, I think, short and sweet is important for this reading. But I hope for those of you who asked me to do a reading on why this is happening at such a planetary level, this pandemic, hopefully this gives you a sense of direction as you move forward, and an understanding that sometimes in order for rebirth to happen, there does have to be that energy of death. There does have to be the trauma of something falling apart. It allows us to create something new, to shift into a new state of being. And so while this is horrendous and horrific, it's also an opportunity to step into something new, and to choose not to be ruled by a sense of fear, but rather to allow our understanding of what fear is to move us deeper into love and to healing at a planetary level. Much love and many blessings. See you in the next video.